Hello, my name is Radcowdisease, and I'm going to be giving you a tour of the user interface I use for my Resto Shaman. Since I started playing, I've made a number of changes to my UI which have significantly improved my performance during raids, solo play, and other settings. My goal with this video is to give you some ideas to help you create or improve upon your own UI. What are the key elements of a good UI? Excellent question. Through trial and error, I've identified 5 key elements which I incorporate into my own UI. 1. It is simple. UIs that are overly complicated take a long time to master and are difficult to set up. They may also take up a lot of screen space, causing you to miss more crucial information. 2. It is organized. Having some sort of structure to the UI can help with being more efficient and performing better. 3. It can be used in a variety of settings. This means the UI should work for raiding, as well as solo play, scenarios, or any group size, and for both PvP and PvE. 4. It looks good. This is a no-brainer. I personally prefer a minimalistic UI. 5. It works. This is the most important element to a good UI. Taking a non-traditional approach to creating your UI is fine as long as it works for you. In order to create a UI that incorporates these elements, I found it useful to use add-ons, although there is still a great deal of customization you can do with the default tools. To save time, I'm not going to go through all of my add-ons here, but I will include a list of all my relevant add-ons in the information section of this video. They are all fairly easy to use and fun to work with. At this point, I'm going to show you my UI and explain my thought process for how I've chosen to set it up. As you can see, I've tried to keep it open so that I have as much visibility as possible, especially around the periphery. I found that I was standing in too many fires when I had a more cluttered UI. I chose to put the majority of my spells here in a rectangle in order to keep mouse movement to the bare minimum. This enables me to be more efficient and react faster and more accurately. Another reason for grouping the spells this way is that I can comfortably press keys 1 through 6 or a modifier and 1 through 6. Pressing keys 7 or higher is uncomfortable and unreliable for me. This first row is where I keep my most essential healing spells. The way I order them is somewhat novel, I think, because I tried to arrange them according to both frequency of use as well as ease of pressing the key. This arrangement may or may not be comfortable for you, but it is extremely comfortable and efficient for my use. The next 2 rows are more spells. I keybind some of these to my mouse and some to the keyboard itself. Having both my interrupt and my dispel bound to my mouse lets me easily use them even while moving. I decided to put my damaging abilities here so that I can easily use them if I'm not healing. The top row I use for my big cooldowns. I find that having them on the top row makes it easier to use them when the time comes. So here I've chosen to put my big damage and raid cooldowns, and over here are some of my healing cooldowns. I decided to put most of my totems over here so that they're all visible. Using the drop-down box for each totem type does save space, but it wastes a lot of time. I like to arrange my totems by type so that I don't accidentally activate more of the same type at the same time, unless that is what I meant to do. So here are my water totems, earth totems, fire totems, and air totems. This bar is where I like to keep items that I use in combat, macros, and trinkets with on-use effects. This area over here is for things that I don't need frequent access to, a few additional keybinds, mounts, food, etc. Since these things are not as important as my other spells, I put them in the periphery and keep the area visible on mouse over only since I don't access it as much. I put my player frame and my target frame right next to my spells because it enables me to easily keep track of what my target and I are casting, as well as our respective health pools. I put the focus frame near the periphery because I generally only use it for keeping track of a boss's health, and I only need to check that periodically. For buffs, I find that keeping it in the center is beneficial because it enables me to keep track of trinket or ability procs more easily. For debuffs, keeping them near my spells helps me to notice them faster and react more quickly. I like to keep my actual totem bar here because it lets me see which are active more easily. For raid frames, I usually like to keep them on the right so that I have easy access as a healer, but left or bottom could work as well. I keep my map on the periphery and hidden most of the time, because particularly in raids, I don't need to look at it. When I do need to see it, I have a keybind in place. The chat box I keep to the side and have separate settings for a variety of tabs so that I only see the information I need when I need it. One last thing I would like to address is clicking versus button pressing. The system I use is this. Left hand is for moving forward, strafing, and all keybinds set to the keyboard. Right hand is for selecting targets, turning, moving the camera, and clicking spells that are not keybound. I hope this tour has given you some new ideas for your own shaman. Have fun setting up your UI, and thanks for watching!